In the Braves home opener, it was an historic night as Chipper Jones got hit number 2,500 and the Braves beat the Phillies 6-3. But on Saturday, the tables were turned as Braves killer Carlos Ruiz slammed the Phillies to a 10-2 win. And so today on a beautiful Sunday in Atlanta, it's the series wrap-up as two of the beasts of the NL East wrap up the series on Sunday Braves. From beautiful Turner Field in Atlanta, it's time for Braves baseball this afternoon. Third, final, and rubber game between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves. Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South is brought to you by your Greater Atlanta Hyundai dealers. Make it a Hyundai Sunday every week on Fox Sports South. And good afternoon, everybody, with my partners Tom Glavine and Joe Simpson. Chip Carey back at the ballpark. Braves trying to win a series outright against the Philadelphia Phillies. And partners, who better than to have Derek Lowe going for Atlanta as today's starting pitcher?
Yeah, Derek's been phenomenal. Since the Washington start last year in September, Derek, he's been on his game, and that's probably an understatement. And much of the talk surrounding his turnaround has been about his slider. And what I think that's has done for him or enabled him to do is, number one, it really gives him that strikeout pitch to go to when he's got two strikes on a hitter. But in talking to Brian McCann, the other thing that it's really enabled him to do is have a pitch that he can throw behind in the count so he doesn't have to rely on his sinker so much. And when he doesn't have to rely on that sinker so much, it gives him a little bit more margin for error when he does go to that pitch. And he really has been phenomenal since September of last year.
And as you said, since September, his numbers as good, actually better than anybody else in the National League. You compare him to some of the guys that also had some pretty good Septembers last year, but Derek's ERA better than anybody that had at least 5 starts. So he's carried that right into 2011 with those good starts against Washington, and then Milwaukee, some tough luck there running into Gallardo, but he's pitching great baseball here to start.
And that was our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard, but for the Philadelphia Phillies, much has been made, and rightfully so, about their Fab Four in rotation. Cole Hamels gets the start today, and it sounds like everything Derek Lowe has been doing for the Braves, Cole Hamels hasn't done for the Phillies.
Yeah, he had a rough spring, Chip. He had a 6.5 ERA in spring training. He got really rocked in his first start against the Mets, and they attribute most of it to lack of location. While Derek Lowe is hitting his spots, so far Cole Hamels has not. He's still throwing hard, has a good curveball and everything. But Tom Glavine, even though he's pitching poorly, this guy's tough.
No, he is. I mean, he pitched really well last year. If you look at his numbers last year, should have had a much better than a 12-11 record. He knows how to pitch. He knows how to win. The interesting thing is going to be is if he has that so-called short memory. This early in the season as a starting pitcher, when you get off to a bad start, you have a tendency to try and chase that bad start that you had and try and make up for it. Well, so we'll see today if he's able to forget that, focus on today's game, and go out there and pitch the way he's accustomed to pitching.
Braves, as you know, already beat one Philly left-hander. That was Cliff Lee here on opening night on Friday. They'd love to win the series outright on a hot day in Hotlanta. Braves and Phillies, the rubber match from Turner Field. We'll have starting lineups and a whole lot more excitement coming up right after this. Brought to you in part by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT&T, by Delta Airlines, and by Ford. It's a gorgeous afternoon in Atlanta. A few puffy clouds overhead, a gentle breeze blowing. Temperatures should reach the mid-80s here at the TED as the Braves try to take 2 out of 3 from the Philadelphia Phillies, who evened the series here yesterday. And what a day off for Carlos Ruiz, fellas. A pinch hit grand slam and 5 RBIs, and he only had a couple of at-bats. Got to keep an eye on him and the rest of this hot-hitting Philadelphia club today.
Derek Lowe, 37 years old, 6'6", 230. He's in his 14th year, off to a great start. Got beat 1-0 by Giovanni Gallardo and the Milwaukee Brewers his last time out. Last year against the Phillies, a 1-3 record, but one of the good games he pitched against him was here in this ballpark, and he went 8 innings and only gave up 1 run. Lifetime 7-4 against Philadelphia. His 4 keys to pitching success today, a couple of guys at the top and bottom of the order. Victorino and Ruiz. They are both excellent fastball hitters. Don't throw them anything straight today. And then trust your defense. We were talking in the pregame show about how good Dan Uggla's defense has been. Well, as a group, it's been solid behind him. Trust your defense. Don't be afraid to get those ground balls and let the defense help you.
As we talked about in the pregame show, the Braves defensively have been very, very good to start this season. And the outfield lineup, Prado, McLaughlin, Hayward from left to right. Dan Uggla, a couple of terrific plays yesterday. Atlanta, another superb double play effort with Gonzalez, Uggla, and Freeman. And Brian McCann, Derek Lowe, the Braves battery, as Victorino and the Phillies ready to go on offense. Ball and strike duties today in the hands of Lance Barksdale. Victorino now 7 for 10 in the series.
You don't often see him go that way. He's pretty much a pull hitter, especially left-handed. But got a changeup down and away, and a nice piece of hitting there.
Did exactly what you wanted. What you're supposed to do with it as a hitter. You stay back and take it the other way. And boy, oh boy, so much for the talk of how the Phillies offense was going to struggle without Chase Utley. I mean, I think they're leading virtually every offensive category in baseball. And the ones that they're not, I think they're second in.
Here's Polanco. He's hitting .353. In fact, the lowest batting average on this Philly lineup today among regular players is .258.
Yeah, when the regulars aren't hitting, they just go by the way, pull somebody off the bench, and they're leading the league in pinch hitting as well.
The lineup as a whole, though, against Derek Lowe, not that flashy in terms of career numbers. In fact, as a group, they're hitting under 200 against him.
Yeah, aside from the obvious Ryan Howard, I mean, you look at the numbers sometimes to see who you don't want to face or who you want to face in certain situations. But, Joe, like you said, there's really nobody in that lineup that's had much success against them.
Might be 2. Glove flip and a beautiful turn.
Trust your defense. These guys can play out there in the middle of the diamond. Turned a snazzy double play yesterday when Dan caught the toss barehanded, and now Alex goes glove first to him. Well done.
So Derek Lowe trying to do something for the first time in this series. Let's keep the Phillies off the scoreboard in the first inning. It's 2/3 of the way there with Jimmy Rollins up. Rollins 2 for 9 in the first 2 games here in Atlanta. Alex will charge. And Derek Lowe does indeed shut down the Phillies in the top of the first inning, and it only took him 7 pitches. Let's see if the bats can get something going against Cole Hamels, who takes the mound for the Phillies this afternoon. The left-handed batters really clobbered Cliff Lee on Friday night. Fellas, I'm sure Freddie Gonzalez would like to see his right-handed bats do some damage against Hamels today.
Well, if you're going to get him early. This guy's a tough cookie. 27 years old now, 6'3", 195, 30 or more starts in each of his last 3 seasons. And as Tom told you in our pregame comments, career best in ERA and strikeouts last year. But he is struggling, and his keys to the game include making sure he hits his spots with his fastball. He's still throwing hard, but he needs to get off to a good start, establish his fastball, and change up in the spots he wants to hit, knock down the middle of the plate. If he does that, he'll make it a long afternoon for Atlanta hitters.
Yeah, I think for him, as I alluded to earlier in the opener, his biggest thing right now is his own confidence. He's got to get out there and show himself that he can do the things that he knows he can, and hopefully it'll be one more start before he's feeling that way.
Yeah.
First pitch of the day to Martin Prado is a 93-mile-an-hour fastball for ball 1.
That seems to be an all-important stat to him early on, too, Chip, is if he goes out there and he knows that his fastball's 92 to 94, even sometimes 95, then he feels like everything else will work off that.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Think about how just a couple of years ago he was the ace of the staff, MVP of the World Series, and now he's their number 4 starter.
Up the middle, Michael Martinez gets today's start at second. And Ryan Howard scoops it up. Here's a look at the Phillies' defensive lineup. Same outfield trio of Ibanez, Victorino, and Francisco. Michael Martinez, a Rule 5 selection from the Washington Nationals organization. He and Wilson Valdez trying to hold down second base until Chase Utley comes back, and no word on when that will be for the Phillies.
Yeah, to your point, Joe, earlier, you wonder if at all, and I'm not saying it is, but you wonder if at all, you know, part of his struggles is he's trying to prove that he fits in with this group. You know, sometimes you might have a tendency to, you know, hey, I've been here. What about me? I've done some good things, you know, and he virtually is skipped in the conversation when you talk about their rotation. And, you know, I think sometimes maybe you press a little bit to show that you belong in that conversation.
Was that ever the case with the so-called Big Three here in Atlanta with you guys?
You know, I don't think it was the case per se. I mean, there may have been times where if you were struggling, you know, you didn't want to be the weak link in the chain. But I think the difference for us is that we were all together and kind of went through it for so long that it just was part of the norm for us.
I would say, too, that you guys were together, and then there were guys added along the way, whether it was Nagel or Millwood or Jason Schmidt or somebody. They were kind of coming into you guys where he was already here.
Right.
Yeah, and he's the youngest of all those guys,
right.
too.
And like you say, you look at what he's accomplished. He's done some pretty darn good things early on in his career, and kind of like you said, went from being the guy to almost, like I say, unfairly for him to being an afterthought sometimes in the conversation.
Nasty pitch, strikes out Nate McLouth. First of the day for Hamels, and Chipper will hit with the bases clear in the Braves first.
He's fastball, changeup guy first. He's got a curveball, but he'll only throw it probably half a dozen to 8 times a game. Kind of a show pitch, but he's also developed, like so many pitchers these days, pretty good cutter with his fastball.
Well, that's kind of the pitch that so many guys are trying to develop nowadays. But you're right. If he commands his fastball and is able to command his changeup off of the fastball, then it makes his other pitches that much better. And you know, it all boils down to command.
Chipper rolls one toward Polanco at third. And Cole Hamels escapes the first inning without much trouble. And the duel is on. Lowe and Hamels scoreless after 1 here in Atlanta. RBI leader Ryan Howard will bat for the first time. And Tom, what makes this guy a problem for you pitcher types?
Well, just look at those numbers. That makes him a problem anytime you see him in the batter's box. But what's different about Ryan Howard as opposed to, say, an Albert Pujols or guys like that? This guy has the potential to beat you with a long ball, but at the same time, he strikes out a lot, so you feel like there's some room there that you can attack him and go after him. And I think sometimes that lulls you into being a little bit over-aggressive with him because you see that opportunity to try and strike him out. And you might make mistakes, whereas sometimes you get a guy like Pujols or somebody like that who doesn't strike out a lot. Your tendency is to be a little bit more careful, maybe walk him and not be as aggressive as you are sometimes with Ryan.
To left. One pitch, one out.
And you got to respect that, the fact that he has a lot of power the other way. That one in particular might have been a problem at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, you see him do that a lot over at Citizens Bank Park, and like you said, it potentially is a world of trouble when he hits the ball over there.
Ben Francisco is the hitter. Much was made of how would the Phillies make up for the offense of Jason Worth, who's now playing for the Washington Nationals. Well, all Francisco's done is hit .333 with a couple of homers and 7 RBIs already this year.
Dominic Brown still not expected back for a couple of weeks, if not maybe another month. So Francisco's filled in admirably.
Francisco came over with Cliff Lee back in 2009.
Yeah, kind of another one of those afterthoughts. Tommy, you and I were talking before the game about Derek, and much has been made about getting the feel back for his slider and his release point on it, but his sinker's been outstanding.
Oh, it's been really good, and
shallow center, but playable.
And like I was saying, one of the things that I think what really helps him now is, and I know I used to get caught in that too sometimes with my changeup, is when you didn't have those other pitches to go to, it put so much more pressure on that pitch, whatever it was that was your pitch, and the more you had to throw it, then obviously the more the hitter saw it, and the more they saw it, then your margin for error became less and less. And I think what's happened is because he can throw that slider so much now, it takes hitters off of that sinker.
1 ball, no strikes to Raul Ibanez. This is a guy that Raul has not enjoyed facing at all. He's just 5 for 37 against Derek Lowe in his career. He went around, strike 2.
This guy's a tough hitter. I mean, he's 36 years old now, I think. 38 actually. But his bat stays in the hitting zone a long time. It's kind of a flat swing. Not a whole lot unlike Pujols, who leaves his bat in the hitting zone for a long time. So he makes a lot of contact.
Yeah, kind of that professional hitter type guy.
Another pop fly to center. Nate battling the sun, puts it away with one hand. 3 fly ball outs for Derek Lowe, but just as effective as inning number 1. Coming up, Brian McCann will get things started for the Braves in a scoreless second inning. brought to you in part by opening day against the by the Georgia Lottery, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Joel and Associates, and by Hyundai. Scoreless game, second inning, back in Atlanta with Joe Simpson, Tom Glavitt, yours truly Chip Carey with you on Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South. Part of the order coming up for Atlanta, McCann, Ugla, and Jason Hayward. Cole Hamels worked a 1-2-3 top of the first. Ryan tied with Ryan Howard for the National League hits lead. Each of those men have 13 to start the year. 5 multi-hit games for Brian in the season's first 9 efforts.
Certainly works quick. Must feel good about what he's doing out there so far today.
Yeah, he hasn't had to take the proverbial walk around the mound and try and figure out what the heck's going on.
He pitches in a traditionally hitter's park at Citizens Bank Park. But oddly enough, the park that he likes pitching the best in is Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, where the best hitting team in the league is in the Reds. And yet his numbers at that ballpark are incredible. And this includes a 5-hit complete game shutout last year in the playoffs to wrap up that division series. He says the mound feels high there and it just feels comfortable.
I say it has to do something has to do with the mound or the backdrop, or there's something about the surroundings of standing on the mound of that ballpark that makes him feel comfortable. And when that's the case, you can throw out whether or not it's a hitter's or a pitcher's ballpark.
Well, you know, it's not facing that lineup that makes him feel comfortable in Cincinnati.
No.
Yeah, but think about that in their division series last year. Halladay throws a no-hitter in Game 1. He wraps it up with a 5-hit shutout in Game 3. I think the Reds kind of got the message.
You know, and sometimes, too, when you're going into ballparks like that, it heightens your focus a little bit more because you know you don't have any room for error. You're trying your hardest to keep the ball out of the air, and all those things are good when you're going out there on the mound for as far as your concentration.
Where was your worst place to pitch?
Florida. Could not win a game in Florida. Didn't matter. Didn't matter what I did. Just didn't go right.
And that's surprising because I would think it's a pretty good pitcher's park, isn't it?
It's not a bad park. I mean, you know, it's certainly not one you go into from a pitching standpoint worried about so much, but you know, conversely, my best ballpark was the other one in Cincinnati. That one was pretty darn good to me. I hated to see that one go.
Another chance for Polanco. Two outs. Friends, the Delta Civil Rights Games coming to Atlanta for the first time. Join us May 13th, 14th, and 15th when the Braves battle the Phillies as we celebrate baseball's contributions to the civil rights movement. Events will take place all weekend, starting with the ludicrous post-game concert on the 14th, then the Delta Civil Rights Game on the 15th. For more information, visit braves.com/civil rights. Couple of homers, 5 knocked in for Jason Hayward.
They're going to live right there on him, too. Another one at 95. And until Jason proves to them that he can handle that pitch inside, they're going to continue to challenge him in there. Here
got a little much at the plate, but Hayward pops it up. Ibanez scampers to his left, and Cole Hamels has set down 6 in a row to start a scoreless game in Atlanta. Are coming up, and you hate to even bring up the name Carlos Ruiz when the Phillies come a-calling. This guy has been a Braves killer the last 3-4 years. How about his last 5, including yesterday with the grand slam? You cannot throw this guy a fastball, especially up. I said Friday night, Tommy, I think he's the best fastball hitter on their club, among a bunch of guys that are good fastball hitters.
Yeah, there's a bunch in that lineup that are, but he's probably that guy that flies under the radar screen. And there again, sometimes as a pitcher, you probably feel like you're throwing so many off-speed pitches to all these other guys in the lineup that here's one guy you can challenge, but that certainly is not the case. He can handle that fastball.
304 average for Ruiz. First pinch hit homer, first career grand slam yesterday. So when you face a lineup like this in Philadelphia, how do you go through their scouting report? I mean, how do you plan for a guy like this when you have the Utleys and the Howards and, as last year, guys like Jason Worth in it?
Well, I mean, again, I think it's like anything. You just go through the hitters, you look at their strengths, their weaknesses, try to match that up to your game, and then formulate a plan. And I think obviously you're never going to go to a hitter, I don't care how good a fastball hitter he is, and not throw him a fastball, but you try to throw it to him in places where he sees it and he wants to hit it, but he can't get to it. Whether that be, in Derek's case, a sinker down in the zone, down out of the strike zone or off the plate, or, yesterday where with line break, if you're trying to throw that fastball, you throw it, but you miss in, so he can't do anything with it. So at least he's seeing it. That's one thing I learned from Ted Simmons. He said, it doesn't matter if a hitter's looking for a certain pitch, you can throw him that pitch, just don't throw it where he can hit it. So at least he's getting to see it, and he thinks you're going to throw it to him.
At the knees, first strikeout for Lowe. Is that a cutter? That might have been a fastball. And like you said, Tom, down.
Yep. See, that might have been one that fooled him. He was such a good fastball hitter, and he probably wasn't looking for it to catch that much of the plate, so kind of froze him a little bit.
Here's Michael Martinez. There's an open audition at second base for the Phillies all spring long. Martinez, Wilson Valdez, and former Brave Pete Orr all saw a lot of time this spring. And all 3 of those guys are on this club in the absence of Chase Utley.
Yeah, they all must have done something well.
This guy made the club because I'm told he's very athletic, that he can play second, short, or third, but he can also give Victorino a day off in center field if they want to do that. He can go out and go get him in center.
Well, he's no kid. He's 28 years old. And out of the Nationals organization. Another ground ball out for Derek Lowe. 2 away.
Cole Hamels, pretty good hitter. Can't just fiddle around with him either.
Lifetime 160 hitter.
Yeah, he's still young enough to where he should be a decent hitter. It should still be fun for him. Doesn't mind running the bases. Give him a few more years, and then 2 outs and nobody on. He's not going to be much of a threat to try and get a base hit.
Level of importance goes down.
Yes. Especially in a Sunday day game, he's just going to look to make a ground ball out and get back on the mound.
Derek Lowe handles that chance from Hamels, and he's faced the minimum through 3. Derek off to a good start, and we're still looking for our first run. Florida Marlins. Yeah, former Marlins Freddie Gonzalez and Dan Ugler lead the Braves in action. Our coverage starts at 6:30 with Braves Live here on Fox Sports South.
And how about these pitching matchups? Hansen and Volstad, a couple of hard-throwing right-handers in Game 1, and then look out, Josh Johnson and Tim Hudson hook up Wednesday. Alasko and Beachy will go head-to-head in the last game of that 3-game series. Fox Sports on Tuesday, Peachtree TV Wednesday and Thursday.
Alex pops up the first pitch, foul ground for Howard. 7 up, 7 down for Hamels. Here's Freddie Freeman. Freddie's got a modest 3-game hit streak, and fellas, he's done a pretty good job of hitting left-handed pitching so far.
I think his swing has actually been better against lefties, Chip. I think he's concentrating more on keeping that front shoulder in there, thinking more about left center. I think here in the early going against some of the right-handers, he's wanted to maybe really get on one and hit it a long way. Flies open a little bit too soon, but not against the lefties.
It's tough as a young hitter in this league to come in and have a ton of success. Obviously, some guys do it, but it's, to me, and you would know better, it's got to be really tough to be doing it in the 8th hole in the lineup.
And at age 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had a lot of minor league at bats, but it doesn't compare with these types of surroundings against the defending National League champs, or excuse me, division winners. And as you said, the 8 hole is a tough place to hit.
Well, he'll hit. He's hit everywhere, you know, and obviously the tendency early on as a young guy is to try and make your mark, and I'm sure he's got to relax a little bit.
There you go. Fought off a tough pitch. Most of what makes it a hard place to hit is with runners on base. You're not going to get a whole lot to hit because the pitcher's on deck. But the manager's going to want you to expand your strike zone a little bit because you got a better chance of getting a hit and driving in a run than the pitcher does.
Hamels has a strikeout in every inning so far. That's his 3rd. Here's Derek Lowe.
I'm going to venture a guess this is not the guy that pitched against the Mets the other day.
No. Well, he's already gone as far in the game as he did his first time out. Hamels went just 2 2/3 innings, 6 runs against New York.
Well, that's the potential downside for the Braves in facing him today. When you guys that are this good, they don't typically have those kinds of outings two times in a row.
Nine up, 9 down for the Phillies left-hander Cole Hamels, and the top of the order will greet Derek Lowe as we move to the 4th inning. No score. As we head to the 4th inning, And as part of our Fox Sports Supports charitable initiative, we are proud to wear these pins during our 2011 MLB games on Fox Sports South this year to support Stand Up to Cancer and their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. For more information, please visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports.
We have a fun game here between innings, between the third and fourth innings, where a fan's out. It's Nate up the top of your screen. You got to run out, get the base, and bring it back in 20 seconds. Well, they put the base in a place where there's no way you could get out there and back in 20 seconds. So Nate picks it up, frisbees it over there a little closer. And this guy got out there and back with time to spare, so he wins lots of prizes, tickets to future games. It's great. God bless Nate McLeod.
Now, does that go down as an assist for Nate?
Yes.
Yes.
I just love it. Every time he goes out there and sees that base, he's frisbeeing that thing back a little closer.
Let's see if the Braves can get Victorino under control. We showed you what Atlanta had done to him and Rollins the last 2 years. Shane has had a huge series. 7 hits in 10 at-bats so far at Turner Field.
Quite a contrast to the way he's hit against the Braves the last 2 years. Braves have kept Shane and Jimmy Rollins in check. He's a good high ball hitter. You think about, well, you got to keep the ball down and hope that he can't elevate a pitch, but he's a good high ball hitter.
He's just a good hitter. He's a nuisance up there.
Like that.
Like that. That's what makes him a nuisance.
He's gone to left twice in as many tries today and has both Philly hits.
What a series.
Same approach he took on his first at-bat, just did that one over the shortstop's head instead of the third baseman.
Well, and he came into this game 2 for 24 against Derek Lowe in his career, so maybe he decided, I need to make a change on my approach here somewhere.
Derek got Placido Polanco to hit into a double play his first time up. Derek needed just 7 pitches to get out of the first inning. The thing about this Philly offense, guys, this is not a club, at least in our first look at them, that's just going to sit back and try to outslug you. They are really trying to force the action on the base paths too.
They've got speed to do it. You got a guy at the plate who can do just about anything with the bat, a virtuoso up there hitting the ball to all fields.
I think that's one thing when you're breaking down these two teams offensively. I think there's obviously a lot of things to like about the Braves. There's a lot of things to like about the Phillies, but I think that's the one element that Philly possesses, speed, that the Braves just don't have very much of. With Victorino and Polanco and Rollins, I mean, they got guys that if the home run ball is not there, they still have an opportunity to manufacture some runs. The Braves are going to have a tough time doing that.
Good breaking ball. And it's not just a recent phenomenon for the Phillies, Tommy. They've led all of baseball in stolen base percentage each of the last 4 years.
And you know, kudos to them, because in that ballpark as a pitcher, you're worried enough as it is about giving up a cheap home run. When you got to worry about the running game on top of that, it makes it very tough to handle both aspects of that.
Polanco, a tough guy to strike out, is behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Like Derek was even trying to waste a pitch there, and he still got a piece of it.
Be interesting to see here after that pitch, like you said, off the plate like that, if he'll try and sneak one on the inner half. But you got to be careful on this guy too, on the inner half of the plate. It's typically a good sign when a guy's reaching that pitch that far off the plate. You think, well, I must have all kinds of room inside, but this is one of those guys you got to be careful doing it with.
Yeah, he's got such a short swing. Always chokes up on the bat. Lets the ball travel. He's good at waiting and waiting, and then just hit the ball where it's pitched. But he can turn on the ball too.
2 years ago, Polanco, the second toughest batter to strike out in the American League. He golfs one over short. And around second goes Victorino. The throw comes into third. And no further advance. First and third for Philadelphia in the top of the fourth.
Not a bad pitch, but I think there's that swing you're talking about, that short to the ball, and just didn't hit it very hard, but got enough of it to get himself a base hit.
It's amazing that he got that ball in the air, that it wasn't a double play ball.
Yeah.
Jimmy Rollins bounced to short his first time.
Seems to me the hit that was the most damaging to Derek in Milwaukee was that base hit by Gallardo to get an inning started on an 0-2 pitch that he just kind of flared to right.
That was the only run of the game, as Gallardo gave up 2 hits, went the distance. And Derek, classy as always, tipped his cap, saying he was just a little bit better than I was that day. So Atlanta lost that one 1-0. Gotta hurry with Rollins. Double play, but Victorino scores the game's first run.
Was hoping to get that from Polanco. And while everybody in their lineup is doing great things and driving in a lot of runs, Jimmy Rollins looking still for his first RBI of the year and thought he might get it there, but not so.
That's just good damage control right there for Derek. And I think, to me, that's one of the things he's really done a better job of since September and into this year. It seemed like early last year, when a lot of times you look at his numbers inning by inning, there was a lot of innings where he gave up big innings, and he's really stayed out of that since he's found his slider and made some adjustments.
Nate McLouth retires the side. Shane Victorino has a 2-for-2 day working for the Phillies. He scored the game's first run. Now it's the top of the Braves order's turn against Cole Hamels. 1-0 our score. Out of the fourth inning as we welcome you back to Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South, brought to you by your Greater Atlanta Hyundai dealers. Let's take a look at our AT&T U-verse trivia question. Carlos Ruiz, one of 4 active catchers to have caught 2 no-hitters. Can you name the other 3?
No, I cannot. How long do we have to think about that?
You ran up the white flag in about 2 seconds there, man.
A.J. Przinsky, maybe?
How about Yadier Molina with the Cardinals?
Yeah, Molina. Okay.
Wainwright, Carpenter.
Okay.
How about Torrealba?
You have a Torrealba?
Maybe did he catch Sanchez no-hitter, and then maybe? No, I don't think he was with the Rockies last year.
No.
Ubaldo threw his.
Jorge Posada, although he's DHing now, would that still count?
Well, he's 57 years old. There's a good chance it caught a couple.
2-2 to Prado. Jason Varitek.
That's a good call. Oh, where was that pitch?
I don't know, but I'm glad he didn't call it.
I am too.
Looked like he balked back there.
Yeah.
I wanted to call it.
You get one on the house here, Martin. Look a little low.
Boy, did he pull the string nicely there. 5 strikeouts for Hamels and 3 in a row.
Career high in strikeouts for him last year, and the Braves today. If there's one thing obvious here at the beginning, it's make more contact. See if you can find some holes, because that's 5 strikeouts of the first 10 batters.
Well, whatever trouble he had commanding the ball coming in here, he's not having that trouble so far.
McLeod makes contact. Ibanez playing shallow, can't get it. Another hit by a Braves left-handed batter against a Phillies left-handed pitcher in this series.
I don't get that defense. I mean, that's not Juan Pierre at the plate. That's not Niger Morgan at the plate. Nate McLeod's got a little pop in his bat where if you start playing him shallow and toward the line like a little slap hitter, you're going to get burned.
Yeah, I know. You know, a lot of times I used to like my off-fielder to play a little bit shallow, because I always felt like if I make my pitch, there's a better chance he's going to hit a blooper than he's going to hit one over your head. If he hits it over your head, it's my fault. So I'd be curious to see if that's what Cole Hamels wants his guys to do, but he was a little bit too shallow in that.
In his home park, that's probably normal position, though, isn't it?
Well, good
Might
point.
be.
Yeah. A little more spacious confines here at Turner Field. Chipper's had good numbers against Cole Hamels. 9 hits and 25 at bats and a couple of homers. Base hit would work here.
It's already been a real nice series for Chipper Jones, over the 2,500 hit mark here on Friday night. Now closing in on 1,500 RBIs. Needs 3 for that number.
Like Chipper was making sure that he had the outer half covered there. Had one run in on him.
To right, Francisco. Nate McLeod will tag and move to third, but with 2 out.
That at-bat might tell you how Cole is at least feeling about himself today. Because if you look at the situation, he's got a base open. You figure between Chipper and Bryan and Ugley, there's one guy in there he can pitch around a little bit. And if you're looking at the numbers, you got Chipper hitting 375 and Ugley hitting 162. I mean, obviously, I think he's going to go after Bryan in any scenario. But the fact that I think he went after Chipper right there, knowing that if he walked him, it didn't matter. He still had McCann and Ugley, I think tells you how he feels about his stuff today.
Oh, how about that play to end the inning? McLeod breaks up the no-hit bid with a double, but he's left 90 feet away, and Cole Hamels in Atlanta has a 1-0 lead. First, and we invite you to take advantage of Braves Value Days and save up to $11 off each game ticket. First Value Days of the year are coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday when we get our first look at the Florida Marlins. Value Day tickets, that is, must be purchased in advance at Braves.com/Value Days. Great crowds all weekend in Atlanta for our season opening series.
Is it just me, or does it seem like every year on home opener weekend, the city of Atlanta decides to do road construction?
It's all coordinated that way. Yeah.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. It's when they break out the barrels.
Well, our fun-loving pals at the DOT. Why is it they can't coordinate it when we're out of town? I don't understand.
You might have to call the governor.
I might do that, Joe.
Popped up. And Dan Ugler makes the play. Francisco is 0 for 2. Time for an energy-saving tip from Georgia Power. Turn off lights and TVs when you leave a room. That, of course, accepted when we have Braves baseball for you on Fox Sports South. For more energy-saving tips, visit GeorgiaPower.com.
I'm sure all your kids do that, right?
I was just getting ready to say, I hope my wife and kids are watching right now.
Ibanez, the batter, he flied out his first time up.
I'd go through a room and TV would be on, nobody in there. I'd turn the TV off and immediately I'd hear, "Hey, I was watching that."
Yeah.
They're 2 rooms away.
just past a diving Dan Ugler.
Couldn't tell for sure, but I thought just in my mind's eye that maybe Dan slipped a little as he was trying his crossover step to get to that one. Hard hit. Let's watch. Well, he's out on the grass. Didn't look like it. Just a clean hit.
Derek Lowe made some nasty pitches to Carlos Ruiz and struck him out looking. Ruiz, a native of Panama. And another base hit, this one off the end of the bat to left.
And on a breaking ball. He had a good cut at the one before, and that was either a changeup or a slider. I couldn't tell, but everything they're one-handing is dropping in.
No, it's actually a pretty good pitch.
Yeah.
Don't you get tired of hearing that?
Yeah, you do, really. I mean, but then it all evens out when you make a really bad pitch and they hit a line drive at somebody or a ground ball for a double play. So you hope it evens out.
Martinez, the Phillies' 8th place hitter, can really run. So Derek can get a hard hit ground ball at somebody and a double play to send this thing to the bottom of the 5th.
Derek's doing a great job of getting strike one in there, too. Boy, Oswalt yesterday was phenomenal. First pitch strikes. Paid off for him. I think there was only one time he didn't get a strike.
I was shocked that was Oswalt's first career win against the Braves in regular season play.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's shocking to me, too, because I don't think I've ever played against a guy where he hasn't pitched a good game.
He's 3-0, I think, against him in the postseason, but he'd never beaten him in the regular season.
Huh.
Derek, by the way, 12 out of 17 on first pitch strikes. He's a different pitcher. He's a different pitcher than what we saw for the first 2/3 of last season compared to the last third of last year and now. He's got everything working.
Undefeated September last year, was arguably the best pitcher in the National League that final month of the regular season last year. This year, 1 win, 1 loss. 1 earned run in 11 2/3 innings coming into today's play. Line drive, throw to first. Did Freddie drop it?
No, it hit the runner. Freddie got over there, but the throw hit Ruiz right in the back, and he's thrilled that it did. Going to be an out.
That's one that you don't mind getting hit in the back on.
So Derek gets the second out, but it allows the Phillies to clear the pitcher Cole Hamels, who leads by a run. A little chop. Inning over. Lowe continues his great work at minimizing damage. He gives up 2 hits and nothing else. Atlanta, the Phillies lead by a 1-0 score. Here is our Joel and Associates game summary.
Pretty simple to sum up today's game with the 1 run. Both pitchers are pitching really well. And Derek Lowe's had a couple of double plays turned behind him, but one of them produced a run. First and third, 1 out. You got Rollins to hit into a double play. But Shane Victorino, who's 2 for 2 today, had worked his way around to third base to set that up. As he's warming up here, and we've been talking about Hamels and how he's kind of the forgotten guy on this 4-man Fab Four, there's been a lot of comparisons drawn to other great rotations in baseball, and a couple of the rotations you were part of are always brought to mind as a comparison. It must make you feel pretty good.
It does. I don't care whether it's individually or as a group. Whenever you hear people comparing other people to you, I mean, obviously that's somewhat indicative that you've done some things well that people want to compare to you. But yeah, these guys they've got a chance to have a special season.
I've seen it, and I may be putting you on the spot here. I guess I probably am, but hang with them.
Won't be the first time.
2 of the rotations, it always includes you, Maddox, and Smoltz. One of them, and one that seems to be higher rated, is the one with Denny Nagel in it. I think because he was a 20-game winner. And then Glavine, Smoltz, Maddox, and Avery. Do you have a call on which one you thought was better? I guess I'm asking you to pick Nagel or Avery.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Look, when Ave, early in his career, Ave was as good as it got, so it's hard to imagine you get anybody better than him. But, look, if your drop off is Denny Nagel and he wins 20 games for you, that's not bad.
Dan pops it up left side. Rollins has a beat on it. Staggers a bit, but makes the play for the first out.
Tough play.
I think there was one year there, and I don't remember if it was one of those. I know it wasn't with Avery, but I don't know if it was Nagel or Millwood. I thought there was one year we had 5 guys win 15-plus games. It was the first time that had been done in I don't know how long, but it's what I always say to keep saying to people is in this day and age, it's going to be hard for those guys to put up some of the numbers that we put up in terms of wins and ERA and innings pitched. But it's still. They still carry the same feeling with them when they go into a ballpark, and that other team is looking at them and going, "Oh my gosh, look at their face."
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that they have that same thing going for them that we had for so many years.
I thought of that when I was looking ahead at the matchups for this first home series, and thinking, "Oh well, good, they don't have to see Halladay."
Yeah.
However.
That's over by the Braves dugout, and Ryan Howard will have a play.
Yeah, it's kind of, I've got good news and bad news. All right, well, give me the good news first. Well, you don't see Halladay. Well, who are we seeing? Oh, okay, well, not much better.
Jason Hayward fly to left his first time up. Braves have but 1 hit.
In any count, 3-1 changeup for a strike.
He said command would be a key. He has had great command so far. Now Rollins.
That was perfect defensive alignment.
It's not too late. Braves prorated season ticket plans are still available, starting as low as $4 per game. Become a Braves season ticket holder today. Get great benefits like player meet and greets, discounts at the ballpark, on-field events, and a whole lot more. Visit Braves.com or call 404-577-9100.
When you don't throw many curveballs, that's always a good first get-over strike pitch, isn't it?
It is. It's generally the time that you want to use it because guys aren't looking for it, and if they do swing at it thinking it's a changeup, you're hopefully going to catch them off balance. I mean, it was never a big pitch for me. It was always my fourth pitch, but you know, there were certain times that I felt better with it than others. But that was when I did. That was generally when I used mine. Was just go strike one, give the hitter something else to look at, and you kind of feel like you snuck one by him a little bit.
Alex, a milestone hit in the game yesterday. His 300th major league double.
And he was disappointed about it. Wanted it to be a home run.
Would have tied the game yesterday. And Hamels has another strikeout, his 6th in the game. 3 up, 3 down as we move along to the 6th.
Turner Field for Game 3 of this 3-game series. And don't forget about Chip Cary's blog at Fox Sports
Mulligan
South.com. Get all kinds of inside scoop on the team. You learn how to speak English. And while you're doing the blog, you can look inside the clubhouse and answer questions like what the most current blog is all about. Sorry about that, Chip.
It's okay, buddy.
FoxSportsSouth.com, the Chip Cary blog.
As always, we're looking for guest bloggers anytime you want to join in the fun.
Written a lot better than it was spoken.
That's exciting news. I didn't know that was out there. Now I got something to go look at every day. Is it an everyday thing or
no?
No,
I don't think the public's quite ready for that. I know I'm not. But so far so good. A couple of blogs in the books. Shane Victorino. Let's control this guy. He's 2 for 2. He's the only man to touch the plate. It's funny how the business of baseball can change a franchise's history. The Phillies didn't draft or develop Shane Victorino. They picked him off the Rule 5 draft. It was in 2004.
A couple pretty good players in this game that were Rule 5 drafts. One hitting and one playing second base. Ugla was a Rule 5 draft for the Marlins.
That's hit a ton. Aloha for the flying Hawaiian.
I told you he's a nuisance.
Unfortunately, the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast today comes off the bat of a Philadelphia Phillies hitter, and it's a guy who's now 3 for 3. They had run some off-speed pitches away from him. Look what happens. They tried to come in, See ya.
Actually, I think they tried to go away. I don't know if there was a backdoor cutter that just ran on him or what it was, but it looked like Brian was set up on the outside corner.
He just missed his spot.
But there again, it shows you, with Victorino, even though he wasn't trying to go in there, I mean, that you would think logically that might be the spot to go after he's blooped 2 hits the opposite field on you, but that's what he might do with it.
He's 9 for 12 at the plate in this series. And remember, Victorino had 2 lifetime hits against Derek Lowe before this game started. He's 3 for 3 today. Phillies are averaging 7 runs per game, hitting .344 as a team. Both those numbers tops in the league.
And with that pitching staff, it's a pretty good number.
Right at McLeod, late break.
And with 1 out, time for our Sherwin-Williams pitching sequence. This was Jimmy Rollins with runners at first and third, got ahead of him in the count. He laid off a good sinker there, but then chased a ball running away from him off the plate that turned into a 6-4-3 double play. Got a run in, but a good sequence of pitches for Derek Lowe there on our Sherwin-Williams pitching sequence.
And another ground ball from Rollins. Jimmy 0 for 3, 2 outs. Howard's hit the ball in the air twice. He's 0 for 2. He's flied to left and he's flied to center.
He's been aggressive early in the count on Derek, too. First pitch out, his first time up, and I believe on the second pitch next time. This guy's a proverbial scouting report that you see so often, Tommy. Down and away and up and in. Keep it away from him so he can't reach it, and if you get ahead in the count, he will chase up and in.
Yep.
Good luck.
You better get it there. And then again, I think that kind of plays into why guys make so many mistakes with him, because there is room in those 2 places to go, and you feel like you can get there, but if you don't, he's going to make you pay the price. And as you've seen with his numbers, he's made a lot of people pay the price.
Another fly ball. And Ryan Howard is 0 for 3. Somebody wake up Shane Victorino. He's 3 for 3 today. He scored both runs. The second, a solo homer.
Time now for the Coors Light freeze can and the train. Runner at third base, 2 out. Hot shot back to the box. Cole Hamels made the play. Why did he make the play, Tom?
Finish square. He's the 9th fielder out there. He's an infielder. He's got to be ready to field his position. There's a lot of things you can do as a pitcher to help yourself win a ball game, and in a tight game like this, that might be one of them.
This Coors Light freeze can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
However, young pitchers, take your time, crow hop, make a good throw to first base. Don't be lobbing that over there and have the first baseman having to find it in the bag at the same time.
Joe, you can tell he's been broadcasting forever. For all you young pitchers out there.
Yes.
Well, I've heard you guys say that a lot when I was playing.
Freddie Freeman takes a strike. Freeman low and Prado. Middle innings, 2-0 now. Phillies in front.
Braves did not score a run in the last game that Derek started when he lost 1-0, and they're getting blanked again today. Atlanta only had 2 hits that day against Gallardo.
The Braves started the day hitting .236 as a club. That'll improve with a Freeman hit. Both hits by Atlanta today by left-handed batters.
But this, I think, is indicative of what I was talking about earlier, how he'll stay in there and be willing to kind of fight off anything inside. This was supposed to be down and away, and it was up and in. And Freddie does fight it off. No stride, just let his hands work. And he found some pasture out there where nobody was playing, so a good start.
Derek bunts it hard, and Hamels will make the unassisted tag. Sacrifice. Prado will hit. Freeman in scoring position. Fans order the Chevron Family Value Plan today. Get 4 Braves tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, parking, a program, and a $5 Chevron gift card for just $69. To order the best deals in sports, call 800-745-3000 or buy the Chevron Value Plan online at Braves.com. Braves came back from a 3-0 deficit to Cliff Lee here on Friday night. They're down 2 with Prado and McLeod scheduled in the 6th.
Martin likes that high fastball. The home run he hit in Milwaukee was on a fastball up and in from Takashi Saito. He can get up on top of that pitch and tomahawk it.
Hamels allowed 26 home runs last year. One here would be nice, but it's not to be. 2 out. His 7th strikeout.
And just some really, really good pitches to Martin. The strike 2 call was 93 fastball at the knees on the outside corner, and then a good breaking ball.
Is that a cutter? I think, yeah. That Andy Pettit type cutter, throw it down in the dirt on the back foot.
Hamels strikeout high 15. Where was it? At Cincinnati. Back in 2007.
You're talking about some mounds feeling or really being higher than others, Tom, and also the background and how that plays a role. It seems to me Montreal was where Smoltz always told me he loved to pitch because it seemed like you were real close to home plate because of that plexiglass behind home plate.
Yeah, and you could see your delivery in that plexiglass, so you could knew what adjustment you had to make. Now, conversely, Dodger Stadium was the exact opposite. You threw in that bullpen down there, and it was all enclosed, and you came out of there feeling like you were throwing 100. And then when you get on the mound, the backstop was so far behind home plate, you felt like you were pitching from second base.
Good at bat here by Nate.
Yeah, that's a big at bat right here. Make him face Chipper with 2 on.
Going to get something to hit. But 3-1, you got to have a real small zone.
He lost him. 2 on, 2 out. Hamels has had trouble with the left-hand hitters today. First pitch, Polanco. And Howard with the scoop at first. Braves threatened but failed to score in the 6th inning. We go to the 7th. Ford South is brought to you in part by AT&T Uverse, by Geico, by Toyota, and by Georgia Power. Joe, Tom, and Chip with you from Turner Field, where Cole Hamels and the Phillies enjoy a 2-0 lead after 6. The Phillies entered play today a game ahead of the Marlins in the division. We talked about their pitching. We talked about their offense. Haven't talked at all yet, fellas, about their bench, which has also been awesome.
And it was huge yesterday with Ruiz getting the grand slam homer. Charlie Manuel on that. Our Geico quote of the day from the Philadelphia Inquirer on the 9th. What really shows is that they're doing their work. They're keeping sharp. The more at-bats we get them, the better they'll perform, and they're swinging good.
I beg to differ, Chip. I think I did mention that they were leading the league in pinch hitting at the start of the broadcast.
I remember hearing it.
But that's okay.
But we're only 6 innings into the first game, and there's already dissension.
We'll get through it. We're professionals.
At times, 1 ball, no strikes to Francisco, now 2-0.
Yeah, that's not exactly a bench full of pinch hitters that you really heard of over there either.
I was surprised to see that list of active pinch hitters and Ross Glode being on there. I didn't realize he had as many as he does.
Yeah, the last couple of years they had Matt Stairs and Greg Dobbs. That's turned over for the Phillies, and you're right, Glode is in some pretty tall cotton.
And Dobbs just one ahead of him. Jason Michaels, 75.
Another former Philly, too.
Mm-hmm.
Alex had Francisco lined up perfectly.
Derek's pitching good enough to win today, certainly. Just you can't win if you don't get any run support.
Well, his mound opponent knows all about that, too. We talked about Hamels having a winning record last year. His record could have been a whole lot better had the Phillies offense supported him.
Yeah, you look at his numbers, my goodness. I mean, just in one-run games alone, he had 14 starts where he had 1 earned run or less. I mean, theoretically, he should have won all 14 of those. He still only had 12 wins on the year.
Hard to believe that this ball club just coincidentally wasn't able to score for him that many times, as good as their offense is.
I wonder if he and Tommy Hanson ever talk about that. There's always seemingly, Tommy, one guy on a staff that goes through that, right?
There's always one guy that you're, the day before and the day after, you're saying, why did I score 15 runs the day before I pitch and the day after I pitch? But there's always one guy.
Two balls and a strike.
Oh, I got some bad news, too. Well, kind of bad news, but apparently my wife was not listening to hear the Georgia Power tip, but our son Jonathan was, so at least one of them got it.
Ground ball to Ugla at second. Well, do you want to repeat it so that maybe Chris gets the word?
Maybe he T-voted it and we can show it to her later.
Maybe they can help you with this. You've had a lot of time to think about the trivia question. Three other catchers besides Carlos Ruiz have caught more than one no-hitter.
I think I'm still tapping out. I don't know.
Brzezinski, Molina.
Molina's the only one I can think of.
And I don't know the third. I can't think of anybody. We didn't get anybody.
Oliva, that's right. I forgot.
You had
about
Veritek. Chip, way to go.
Jeez, I felt good about Molina, and he wasn't even on the list.
Nope.
If we get 1 out of 3, do we get credit for getting it right?
1 out of 3, that's pretty good.
It's like
in
a
this
pitcher.
game.
It's like a pitcher adding up his third of an inning or 2/3 of an inning. Yeah, just keep track of that, Chip.
All right, thanks. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ruiz. Extended his hitting streak to 4 games. We'll take that with him to Washington. That's where the Phillies head next. We've got the Marlins in town Tuesday night.
Phillies get the same 3 Nationals pitchers that the Braves saw. You get Livan Hernandez, Lannon, and then Zimmerman.
First chance, Tommy.
A little short.
Kansas City Royals and Ned Yost off to a pretty good start, playing good baseball. They're beating the Tigers again today. I noticed last night Bruce Chen pitched a great game against the Tigers. They had, counting Chen, 6 guys in the lineup that had some Braves ties.
Another hit for Ruiz. It comes with 2 outs. Always fun every weekend to check out who's leading which division. You mentioned the Central, Joe. A little bit of a surprise there. Look who's atop the AL Central.
Indians got off to a little bit of a slow start, too, but playing good baseball. Texas, I didn't expect to see them repeat a year, especially losing Lee.
I didn't either, but
man,
they can lose all their pitchers if they keep hitting the way they're pitching. Sorry.
Yeah.
Speaking of pitching, how about Buck Showalter's Baltimore Orioles? They had a stretch where their starters gave up less than an earned run for the first 3-4 games.
I think it was August 13th. They've got the best record in the American League East.
Well, they're in a tough division to be able to sustain it all year long, but it's certainly it's nice to see.
Got former Brave Derek Lee playing first base for them, and Buck Showalter, their manager.
That's good. It's such a good baseball town, and their attendance has fallen off quite a bit over the last couple, 3 years. So if they get that town enthused again to show that they're playing good baseball, they'll fill up Camden Yards again.
Martinez stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Braves bullpen beginning to move around. Johnny Venner's playing a little catch down there in case this gets out of hand.
As Lowe about to make pitch number 99 of the game. And it was a good one. Ruiz left stranded at first. 7th inning stretch. Let's get some runs. 2-0 Phillies in front. Shane Victorino and Cole Hamels have been awfully tough. Derek Lowe down 2 runs as the Braves come up for the bottom of the 7th inning.
Phillies scratch out 1 run in the 4th inning. Okay, you got to give them credit for that. But then they get that blow from Victorino in the 6th, and the way Hamels is pitching right now, that's a huge run. What a series for that guy. 9 for 12.
So Hamels completes his warm-up tosses and will face Brian McCann, Dan Uggla, and Jason Hayward, leading by a 2-0 score. The annual Atlanta Braves leadoff luncheon is this Thursday, April 14th at the Marriott Marquis. We invite you to join us for lunch with your favorite current and former Braves while getting an insider's look at the current 2011 season. Reserve your seats today. Visit Braves.com/luncheon. Brian McCann 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out and tapped back to the mound in the 4th inning. And he will be the man that goes to work first.
A couple of guys on getting their bullpen. If there's a weak link in their ball club right now, especially with Lidge on the disabled list, it's their bullpen because they haven't been tested yet.
That's funny. This game kind of has that feel like the Braves aren't really in it, but we're only a bloop and a blast. That's all we need. Or, like you say, string together a couple and get that bullpen in here.
In the air, pretty well hit. Ball carrying out toward the track. And Victorino hauls it in. Dan Uggla looking for his first Turner Field hit as a Brave. He's 0 for 9 in the series. Both my partners mentioned you want to get after Hamels early in the game. Otherwise, you might have big trouble. Braves couldn't do that. Cole retired the first 10 hitters he faced, 5 of them with strikeout pitches. Nate McLeod had the first hit. That was a double in the 4th inning. Freddie Freeman, the other Braves hit, a single in the 6th.
Well, like we talked about earlier, command has been an issue for him, but certainly hasn't been today.
Funny thing, both hits by left-handed hitters for the Braves, and last year among all left-handed starters in the National League, he was second against lefties, just a 196 average against him. And another 3-1 off-speed pitch. Threw him a 2-0 changeup and a 3-1 off-speed pitch. And a 3-2.
A really good one, that 3-2.
And his 8th strikeout, 2 away.
And every hitter's count there for Uggla, he got something off speed.
And the Phillies try to crowd Jason Hayward. Ball 1. Jason's fly to left and bounced out to the shortstop.
I think both these guys today have been able to do that, in different ways. Derek's been able to do it behind the count with his slider and every now and then his cutter, and Cole's been able to do it today with his changeup, and it just goes to show you, that's the art of pitching. If you've got an off-speed pitch that you can throw in a hitter's count, it makes you awful tough, especially when you have a 94-mile-an-hour fastball like Cole does and that nasty sinker that Derek does, because hitters get in the batter's box having to respect those pitches.
All 3 hits for the Braves by their left-handed batsmen, and it'll bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Alex Gonzalez.
You said something earlier today, Tom, about he hasn't had to take any of those walks around the mound because of frustration over not hitting his spots. Well, he made a bad pitch to Jason's way off the plate. He went behind the mound, tied his shoe, kind of regrouped, and then made another pitch that wasn't so good to Hayward.
Yeah, grooved one on that base hit there. But yeah, I mean, he hasn't really had to deal with that a whole bunch today.
And one other thing on that pitch is that it was away from Jason. He could get his arms extended.
You know, I always felt like, and I knew it sounded funny to people, but the less I was having to think out there on the mound, the better off I was pitching, because it was more of a give me the ball, let me throw my pitch, I know what I want to do. When you're trying to think your way through things, generally there's something that's not quite right.
When you got into those trances, regardless of who the catcher was, Javi or Eddie Perez, Charlie O'Brien, whoever it might have been, was there a time where you thought, or were you shaking an awful lot, or were you just saying, okay, whatever you want?
No, I was still basically whatever you want. It was just my whole thing was whether or not I was able to make that pitch the way I wanted to. I never, you know, because my game wasn't all that complicated. It was sinkers and changeups, and when in doubt, call a changeup. That's what I always told Javi. If you're not sure what, just throw on a changeup. There's a good chance we'll go with that. But my frustrations always dealt from not feeling like I could get the ball where I wanted it to go. So it was, you know, more mechanical issues or things like that I was having to try and think my way through.
Nice stop.
I know hitters have said, Tommy, when they're in a streak like that, the baseball looks like a grapefruit or a beach ball.
Yeah.
What's it look like from a pitcher's perspective?
Well, from a pitcher's perspective, it's just, you know, I don't know if there's anything you can correlate like that. I always felt like sometimes when I was struggling, I would always think that I saw too much. I saw the hitter, I saw the plate, I saw the batter's box, and when I was on, all I saw was the spot that I was trying to hit. You know, it's funny. I think that's why sometimes in my career I struggled against lefties, because you get so used to seeing a certain perspective when a right-handed batter is in the box, and you see certain things that you're looking at, whether you're trying to go in, you're focusing on that front elbow, or you're trying to go away and you focus on that mid. Then all of a sudden you get a lefty up there, and it's you're so used to not being able to see that right-handed batter's box, and now when that thing's open, it seems like you're looking at the Grand Canyon, and you have a different perspective, and you don't have that good of focus. But you know, conversely, if I was struggling in general, I think that was part of my problem, is I saw too much and wasn't focused in enough on where I wanted the ball to end up.
Alex got a good pitch to hit on the foul tip. Fastball was up a little bit. He's going to hope to get another one like that.
Good fight here in the Braves' seventh with shortstop Alex Gonzalez and Cole Hamels of the Phillies.
Good at bat. Now he didn't give in to Ugla on any hitter's count. Gonzalez represents the tying run, and 2 out. I can't imagine he'd throw him anything but an off-speed pitch here.
Okay, I was thinking the same thing. I can't imagine he wouldn't go back to his changeup right here.
Jason runs, pitch line into center. They're at the corners with 2 out.
Alex was looking for it too, Tom.
He was.
He was sitting on the changeup and nailed it. That was a terrific at bat by Alex Gonzalez. Behind in the count, got it up to 3-2, and saw the changeup he was looking for.
Well, I got the changeup he was looking for, and it was up in the zone as well, which certainly helps. I know sometimes as a hitter, when they're looking off speed and they get that off speed pitch, but it's down in the zone, it's still a tough pitch to hit. But that pitch was up a little bit, and And Alex did a nice job of just hitting it right back where it came from.
And at the very least, they do get the bullpen up for the Phillies. Dennis Baez gets up and starts throwing.
Gonzalez, the fourth Braves hit on the day, the first by a right-handed batter against Hamels, who now has to face another lefty in Freddie Freeman, who's 1 for 2.
This seemed to happen, though, in Milwaukee, Chip, if I'm correct here, that when the Braves were struggling offensively, it seemed like when they did get something going, it was always with 2 outs.
Yeah.
They were going to need a big 2-out hit to get over the hump, and it didn't come.
If I'm not mistaken, that was something they were really good at last year, was 2 out base hits. So it's a tough way to make your living all year long, but if you're going to be one of those championship type teams, you certainly have to do it every now and then.
First pitch, Freeman, ground ball to second. After the meeting, Hamels gets a big ground out, and that retires the side. Braves get 2 hits and nothing else. 2-0 to the 8th we go.
Shakes in the dugout. There's his line for the day. A brilliant line. 4-hit shutout through 7 innings. Pitched out of some trouble there in the 7th to keep it a 2-0 game. And he's had his pitches working all day on an assortment of fastballs and changeups primarily that have been very effective, and a few cutters too. Definitely more Cole Hamels-like than his first start of the year against the Mets.
7 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk for Hamels, 8 strikeouts. And he'll be taken down for John Mayberry. Freddie Gonzalez answers with our AT&T call to the bullpen. And it's Johnny Vetters. Good start. As Vetters retires Mayberry, the first man off that very potent Philadelphia bench. And our Delta Airlines on deck hitter now strides to the plate. Shane Victorino, a huge series.
Has a stolen base mixed in too with his home run today. Stolen base in game 1.
He'll bat right-handed for the first time today. Tough hop. 2 outs. First time the Braves retire Victorino today.
And it was sharply hit, but right at somebody.
Another ground ball for Johnny Venters. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 8th. Pitcher spot due for Atlanta. Down 2. Day Monday. Tuesday night begins a 3-game series for Freddie Gonzalez and Dan Uggla facing their former mates. Coverage here at Turner Field starts at 6:30 Eastern Time with Braves Live on Fox Sports South.
Shane Victorino with a big blow in this ball game to give them an extra run. Came in the 6th inning off Derek Lowe. He had taken a couple of pitches the other way, some off-speed pitches, and then he turns on the fastball. But watch this swing. He uses a high leg kick, but on this occasion, watch how fast he puts his leg down, and then watch how his foot doesn't go forward. It comes straight down. He plants it quick, and that allowed his hands to work on that inside pitch, and he hit it hard. A lot of guys who have that high leg kick, and I think a Ryan Zimmerman from Washington is a good example. It's hard to come straight down with it. Your body, your balance wants you to go forward and stride far, but Victorino didn't on that swing. That was outstanding.
Brooks Conrad is the Braves pinch hitter. He'll bat for Johnny Venters. And our Sherwin-Williams pitching change features right-hander Ryan Madsen.
There was some discussion as to whether or not with Lidge's absence this guy would close or Jose Contreras would do it, but the general feeling and consensus among the Philly staff was that Madsen just operates better in the 8th inning as opposed to closing.
Another ball in the dirt. Conrad hitless as a pinch hitter this year. Madsen has the first out in the 8th.
I was going to say, say along those same lines, it seemed to me that when I first saw this kid early in his career, I thought, man, he's destined to be a closer because he had a good fastball and a devastating changeup. And it seems, if I remember correctly, he's been tried a few times in that closer role, and just one of those guys that there's something about being in that 9th inning versus that 8th inning that just doesn't sit well with him.
Yeah, it doesn't. Plays on his mind a little bit.
Those final 3 outs are different than the ones in the 8th, aren't they?
They are, and a lot of people don't get that. They don't understand that. But look, even in the 8th inning, you still have some margin for error. You make mistakes in the 9th, the game's over.
Liner and Prado will help bring the potential tying run to the plate.
It's what you need in this place in the order. You're hoping Brooks could get it going with nobody out, but a 1-out single. You start getting to some of your thunder in the lineup, and that's what the Braves need, down 2.
Good day at the plate for McLouth. He's walked, he's doubled in 3 plate appearances and represents the tying run. McLouth last year, early in the season, had a memorable moment against the Phillies bullpen.
And that was against Jose Contreras, a walk-off. And the team vacated the premises. No celebration for a while.
You had a great call that day. I think you said ball gone, team gone. 43,796, hoping for an 8th inning or 9th inning Braves comeback. Down 2-0 with a 1-1 count to Nate McLouth.
This guy is not the guy that's tailor-made for Nate in this situation. They would like to have something middle of the plate in, throw that sinker, hard sinker down in where he might turn on it, pull it in the hole. Madsen throws hard and he runs the ball away from you.
Double play ball.
And they tried to pull that outside pitch.
Braves out of luck in the 8th and down 2. The 9th inning. Derek Lowe started. Johnny Venter's an inning of relief. Another AT&T call to the bullpen will feature Craig Kimbrell.
Obviously not a safe situation, but he hadn't pitched much. This is only his 4th game, so getting a little work to stay sharp.
There's a lot of controversy that he came into the game without a song the other night, and I can't quite make out what this song is that they're playing for him. He came into the old whatever Smoltz used to come into when he was closing there for a while, the Guess the Attendance or something or other.
Dancing Queen from ABBA?
No, it wasn't even a song. It was Guess the Attendance or something.
Yeah, they were having the Guess the Attendance contest out there.
Far cry from Enter Sandman.
As Jimmy Rollins goes to work. I laugh every time I see John and remind him of that. Coming in to close the game, and they've got ABBA blaring over the PA.
I mean, in general, it's hard not to laugh every time you see John.
That's it. That's a good point. One ball,
Very
one
good
strike.
point.
Jimmy Rollins has hit the ball on the ground 3 times today. He is 0 for 3.
And the Braves have handled him like they have the last couple of years. He's 2 for 12 in the series. He did have an extra base hit in game 1, but no real damage. But Shane Victorino, on the other hand, is the opposite. 9 hits in 3 games.
Rollins turned on that ball. Jason bobbles, and Rollins will head to third.
That might be a double and an error. Jason did this in Milwaukee. He had a couple of balls come off the wall, and he caught them barehanded, and it concerned me a little bit then because you got to be so exact. And it happened here too. And he bobbled it, and a careless mistake there gave Rollins an extra base.
Yeah, and it's really not a situation where he needs to barehand the ball. He's not going to throw Jimmy out at second. It's more the only way he's taking that extra base is if exactly what happens where he mishandles it.
It is a double and an error. Now the infield creeps in with Ryan Howard up, and a very big run 90 feet away for the Phillies. Rollins got a great jump. And Howard drives him home with a ground ball to short.
As a runner, when you're going on contact, there's nothing else in your mind. I mean, as soon as the ball is put in play, you're gone. And with Jimmy's speed and the fact that this was hit so hard, and Alex had to make sure he had it. I mean, he goes down. He's not on the edge of the grass, number one. He's still on the dirt, but he had to go down to get that ball, and by the time he comes up, he doesn't have a play.
Yeah, it was a good base running by Jimmy. He got a good read on that ball and got a good jump. And like you say, as hard as it was hit, you think for a second there they got a chance, but once he didn't come up with it cleanly, he made the right play.
Well, and the error comes back to haunt you.
1 ball, 1 strike to Francisco. 3-0 now, Philly in front. Amazing, the Phillies bidding for their 7th win in 9 tries with a lineup that does not have an RBI from their number 3 hitter.
Another thought beyond that, Chip, is for Ryan Howard. We showed you those averages over the last several years, how many RBIs he averages. That's how you get 130 or 40 RBIs, is you get those RBIs when you make an out.
Right.
You got a runner at third, you put it in play, or you get a sacrifice fly and pick up an RBI here and there, not just having 4 and 5 RBI nights.
Ibanez bats. He's 1 for 3. In the bottom of the 9th inning, the Braves will have Jones, McCann, and Ugler coming up. Single runs for the Phillies in the 4th, 6th, and here in the 9th.
His strikeout pitch on the road trip when he picked up his saves was that backdoor hard breaking ball. It looks like a slider, but it's his curveball.
He threw one unhittable fastball to Casey McGee up there, Joe. That
had a little hop on it. Yeah. McCann said it looked like a 1-iron. Started low and finished above the knees. Yes, he did.
He didn't think so. Lance Barksdale rings him up. Ibanez wanted an appeal at third. Won't get it. He's struck out.
Maybe he didn't.
Maybe he didn't.
He sure looked like he did live.
He sure did from up here.
Here's Ruiz. 2 more hits for the Phillies catcher. And for a man that can hit a good fastball, we might see a couple in this sequence.
Well, he saw him the other night when Craig came in and got the win or save in game 1. And Ruiz was hacking away, flied out to center.
Oh, yeah.
Kimbrough's going to pick Francisco. There's the tag. Phillies add a run. Costly error for Jason Hayward. 3-0 your score with the heart of the Braves order coming up.
They've had a couple of opportunities today to break through. We got Chipper to bounce out on the first pitch after Hamels got into some trouble. Freddie Freeman with runners at first and third, same thing. Nate McLouth bounced into a double play last inning after a one-out single by Prado. So just when the Braves seem to get something going, most of the time today it's been with 2 outs. Defense comes up and helps the pitcher.
Well, as a pitcher, if you can limit your opponent's chances to when you've got 2 outs in the inning and you only got to get through 1 hitter, it's obviously a much more manageable situation, and the Phillies have done a good job of that today.
Jose Contreras is the Sherwin-Williams pitching change for Philadelphia. And he'll face Chipper, McCann, Ugla, and hopefully more in the bottom of the 9th.
Throws a split finger pitch or fork ball. That's his out pitch. Also has a pretty good slider that he will change speeds on. He'll throw a changeup, but he doesn't use it very much. It's mostly sliders and split fingers.
Phillies thought so much of Contreras that at the end of last season they signed him to a 2-year contract. He's 39 years old. Now closing until Brad Lidge returns.
This is one of those guys that you have to lower your sights a little bit. You just got to think that the ball's going to be down. If he makes a mistake, all the better. If he gets one up, but you got to figure everything's going to be around the knees. Good swing.
And that pitch at 96 miles per hour.
This is very complimentary to Chipper after all these years. We showed at the beginning of this series the damage he's done against the Phillies over the course of his career, and yet they still have to play him straight away, left and right-handed, because there's no one way to overshift for him.
And it was Contreras whom the Braves beat late on April 20th last year. And a good at bat continues for Chipper Jones leading off this 9th inning.
And the good thing here is Chipper's so good at looking for a pitch, and if it's not where he needs it to be, he won't swing at it. He's not likely to swing at a bad pitch here. You figure he's going to walk or get a base hit or hit the ball hard somewhere.
He did, but to second. And there's your first out. Base is cleared for Brian McCann. Don't forget, Fred Hickman and the gang will be with you after the final out for Braves Live. He wanted that pitch, didn't get it. 2 balls and a strike.
Good eye by Brian.
Yeah, Brian didn't like the call before that, and Ruiz and Contreras didn't like that one.
Again to the right side. Martinez from the rover position for the second out.
Derek Lowe won the first game of the season 2-0. Braves got a run in the first, run in the second, didn't score the rest of the day. They got shut out his second start and being shut out today.
This team's going to hit. They're not hitting right now. They have 5 on the day, down 3-0. And Dan Uggla in the box. And that's ball game. Philadelphia Phillies come to Atlanta and take 2 out of 3. Cole Hamels is back to form. He was awfully tough as the Phillies win by a final score of 3-0. And here, fellas, our Toyota play of the game.
You know, Shane Victorino had himself quite a day, but this home run, his first of the year, gave them their second run, kind of an insurance run. He had a great day, but that was the play of the game.
So the Phillies take 2 out of 3 here in Atlanta. Final score 3-0. Phillies head to Washington. Braves have the Marlins here Tuesday night. Coming up next, Braves Live at the ballpark. For Joe Simpson, Tom Glavine, thanks for joining us. I'm Chip Carey. Stay tuned for Braves Live next.